my name is Beth Conley. I was just interviewed by Keith Andrew. He was amazing. I loved all his questions. They were deep and insightful, and I'm excited for you to see the interview.
Today on the KeithAndrewNetWork, this episode 790, we have professional actress and professional singer Beth Conley. That's right, we have Beth Conley on the show today for episode 790. We are on the road to 800. We're 9 episodes away from the following. Is brought to you by the X Zone. That's right, it's brought to you by the one and only the X Zone. By my good friend HB Gibson. Be sure to give him a shout out. All of that work will be on KeithAndrewNetWork. Also, following's brought to you by Life of a Fighter. If you're into fitness, you have to check out Life of a Fighter. We have some great hard-hitting subjects and the questions we're going to talk about. So make sure to hit the like button. Let's jump right into it. Now, the first question I want to ask you is tell our audience a little bit about yourself and how you came to do what you do now.
Sure. So my name is Beth Conley, and I grew up in Rochester, New York. I have been performing since I was 3. My parents started me in dance class really young, and they always said that the minute they saw me on stage, I was the only one smiling and the only one who knew the dance. So they were like, she's meant to be up there. So I've been doing choir and musicals and acting and everything since I was really little. And I went to college for it at Wright State University in Dayton, Ohio. I was there for a little while. I did an apprenticeship with an equity theater, and now I live in New York City, pursuing the dream.
Hey, if you're ever interested, maybe we can hang out or something one day once the pandemic is over.
Sure.
Where in the city are you based?
I'm in Astoria.
Oh, that's Queens, right?
Yeah.
Familiar, occasionally when someone says a name, I'm like, okay, I know that's somewhere in the city, but I keep hearing Astoria. That area, it's actually booming for the most part.
Yeah, and a lot of actors like it over here. Some people call it Actoria, which is I think funny. But yeah, I love the diversity here. You always see all different types of people, all different ages, all different races, and I really enjoy that.
Absolutely. Hey, it's close to the city, but it's not in the city. So you're at a good distance.
Exactly.
So the next question I want to ask you is brain fart. What is the biggest change you want to make to your acting career?
Oh, the biggest change I think right now, my goal is really to become equity. I think that I have a lot of experience at non-equity theaters now, and I do want to work as a non-equity actor at a few more equity theaters before I become equity. But that's kind of the biggest change that I'm looking forward to and trying to gear myself towards. Of course, after COVID, once auditions start up again, that I can work more towards that. But yeah, that's kind of my goal moving forward in the next couple of years.
No, absolutely. Now, next thing, by the way, that should be my new habit. I haven't done my interview as of late, so my disability shows more hint of the show. But I keep saying absolutely. I should really turn that into a hashtag because every time someone, no, absolutely, because every time I say something like, oh, absolutely, I was at $1 for every time I said that. But I want to ask you the same question. But we're going to take out the acting because you also are a professional singer. Mm-hmm. So the same exact question, what is the biggest change you want to make to your singing career? And what's more important to you, your acting or your singing?
Oh, well, I think that honestly, my acting and my singing are both big priorities for me because I am a musical theater actor. So I really pride myself on being able to do everything. I want to be, the best actor I can be, the best singer I can be, and the best dancer I can be. As far as just focusing on my singing and the change that I want to bring to that, I really need to work on my audition book, which for people who don't know, that's the binder that you keep of all the audition songs that you have to be ready to sing at a moment's notice. So my goal has been to really work on that and make sure that I'm singing songs that I really relate to and that I really can perform well, and make sure that I have a connection with the song so that comes across to the people I'm auditioning for.
No, absolutely. You are 100% right. You should feel 100% passionate about the songs you perform. So if I ask you, hey, can you sing this song? You'd be, absolutely, Keith, I can do that. But if I can say, for an example, stupid question, do you like rock and roll?
Oh, yeah.
So if I said to you, can you sing Freebirds? You're going to be like, well, I never sang that song. And then you put that person on the spot. But it's always better to say, you know what? These are my top 5 songs that I know from heart and I can sing on a moment's notice. But you have to be prepared for that curveball at the same time. So you have to be flexible as well.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, in that, when they ask you for other songs that are in your book, you do have to make sure that you know every single song, because sometimes, you'll have an audition song in your binder that you love, but maybe you haven't sung it in a while. So sometimes when they ask you to sing it, you're like, oh no, do I remember the words? So you have to make sure that you know everything in that book backwards and forwards. You really know it well, where, like you said, if they ask you to sing it, you have to be spot on right away.
No, absolutely. Hey, there you go. Like, yeah, I need to come up with a different word. But let me ask you this. Do you know Freebird?
I could not sing it for you right now. I have heard the song, though.
It's funny. I was, for the most part, for my acting, well, I was actually thinking about acting, but for my networking, that's one next question I want to ask you. Actually, one thing that makes me nervous is reading off a stupid script. So I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to be myself. What makes me nervous is, when I'm projecting myself, I want to give the best personal experience. When you're a guest, I want to give you the best possible experience that you can have. And say, you know what? I was on a show. He's a bad flirt, but he's very professional. He knows what he's doing. And then you can tell all your friends and fans out there, he knows what the hell he's doing. It's, by the way, PG-13. So he gets, you can say he has his shit together. So, but there's other times where I'm reading a script and I takes me longer to read it. I'm like, oh, well, I don't need a script. I've been doing this long enough. It's better to be yourself than try to be someone you're not. But the question I want to ask you is social media. Can social media make you or break you with everything that you accomplish in your life? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Do you think it's because of these platforms that gave you so many opportunities in the singing world, in the acting world? Or I almost said act makers, right? But that's Looney Tunes. But do you think that social media has gave you so many opportunities for being an actor and being a professional singer?
Well, it's really interesting because I think that social media is definitely a big part of being an actor, because the first thing everyone does now is that when they hear your name, they Google you. So anything that's online, it's great if you have a really big online presence. So they always check your Instagram, they always check your website, your Facebook. So I think that it's a big part of it. And I've definitely gotten some opportunities off of social media. I will say that for the theater world, it's not as big of a deal. I think more people care about it if you're in commercials or in film, because a lot of those, like if someone's doing a film that's not very well known, or if someone's doing a commercial and they want to promote their product, they're really going to go for someone who has a lot more followers, because then, when they promote on their personal page, all those followers will see that. So I think that it's a little more prevalent in those worlds, but it's definitely still big in the musical theater world because, you know, someone might see your dancing video and then be like, oh, come dance with me or do a project with me. That's definitely happened to me a couple times where someone's seen something I've done and they're excited and they want to do something either virtual with me or in person. So yeah, it's definitely a big part of it.
No, I agree. But the biggest thing is, for the numbers especially, you can buy people, number one. You can buy those spam bots, number one. Mm-hmm. And just because you say, oh, well, I have a couple thousand people, that doesn't mean it's legit. It doesn't mean that it's, I'll give you an example. A while ago, I came across this person like, can I have some of your references? So I just want to do a background check because I'm looking when I wanted to be an actor. I feel like, oh, this guy wanted to represent me. Like, oh, I asked for references. Oh, whoa, I don't have time to give you my references. That was a red flag right there. And then it's kind of like, you need a solid platform. You need to have recommendations. You need to have good quality videos. No, I'm not saying I'm Don Knotts or anything, or Don Ron, and I have terrific, motivational skills. But my episodes are really good. Some are really bad, whatever. But it depends on the chemistry. But, you mentioned about the following, this guy has 10,000 people. I want those 10,000 people. But you don't know the type of questions they're going to ask. You don't know what you're actually walking into. You may think someone's putting a mask on. Hey, what you see in me, it's what you get. Just because I don't have 10,000 people following me, not yet anyway, cross my fingers. But I'm just saying, hey, you know what? He's up front. He tells people he has a disability. He has a great talk show. And he's being real. I'm not saying, okay, I'm going to con people and say, I'm going to do the guilt trip. I don't do that. But the thing about social media is, I have came across people like, what are your numbers? What are your views? And I'll be honest, that stuff doesn't matter to me. I don't care about that. But it's about the message. Hey, I have a disability. But I understand from their point of view, I don't want to have my time wasted, or who is this nobody, or my favorite, or you have to pay me for your time. Absolutely not. That's where I cut them off because I do not, can't say I never paid people. I paid one person and I said never again. Well, it's a long story about that. I can tell you off the air, but I don't pay people. It's like, here's my message. This is what I'm doing. You want to be part of it? I extend my hand to you in friendship. If you're not, go make friends with the door. But I do have a couple questions for you. When we come back from the pause break, when we come back, I'm going to ask you about learning disabilities and a couple more hard-hitting questions when we come back.
Hi, my name is Ellen Dorsch.
I'm Shauna Toth.
Hey guys, I'm Anastasia Edwards.
Hi, this is Jackie Nunez.
Hi, I'm Millie Rose.
Hey guys, I'm Alexandria Denise, and you're watching Keith Andrew's show. He's doing a terrific job. Make sure you like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more often.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Keith Andrew Network. The following is brought to you by the X Zone. That's right, the X Zone is now streaming live on the KeithAndrewNetwork.com and on my YouTube page. Big shout out to HB Gibson. Also, if you're into fitness, make sure to check out Life of a Fighter. Make sure to hit the subscribe button to be up to date of all the great Keith Andrew Network episodes. I have brand new challenges of the Dumbbell Challenge, the Human Pyramid Challenge. Actually, I do want to run past you in a second. I have so many great challenges and content, so make sure to like the Keith Andrew Network. The first one I want to ask you is, I mentioned off the air, you're interested in helping me doing some voiceover work. So the first question I want to ask you is, who influenced you to become a voiceover actress?
Oh, wow. That's kind of hard. I'm actually pretty new into doing voiceovers, but I would love to really start doing that. Actually, my friend Jess, she's great at voiceover work. She's been in all of these YouTube videos and all of these like kids shows, and it always amazes me how many different voices she can create. And I would love to be able to do that. I still have to get, some good voiceover equipment, but yeah, I just think that world is very interesting, and it's cool because you can only come across with your voice. You don't have your body to be able to show any of the emotion and the acting. So everything has to be with your voice. And I find that fascinating.
No, absolutely. Yeah, there's that word again. Anyway, whatever. That's going to be my new catchphrase. Absolutely. But, there's so many people out there. You look at Mark Hamill, when he without question, is the best Joker for cartoon-wise. Movie-wise, Heath Ledger, hands down. But when Mark Hamill was in the booth, everyone else was sitting down, reading their scripts. And when I do voiceovers, people, I used to be like, hear your lines, and they're like, okay, line number one, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I wanted it different. And I remember what Mark Hamill did. He got up, he was stomping around, he put his body into it. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to do the Dumbo challenge and the Jumbo Book challenge, I don't want people just reading the lines like they're talking to a paint on a wall. I want them to actually reenact it. If I put their body into it and express themselves, saying, imagine you're this person and you're reenacting the lines. But the next one I was going to ask you, actually while we're on the question, does that make any sense?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you have to go through it like you would be acting it in person, because that's the only way you can really get all of the emotion across in your voice. And when you're engaged physically, it always changes what comes out. Even when you're singing, they always talk about how you have to use your body and you have to be engaged with your whole self, not just your voice, because it changes how it comes across.
Absolutely. And the next one is called the Human Pyramid Challenge. What do you think of that idea? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a stupid idea?
I'm sorry, what was the challenge?
Oh, it's called a Human Pyramid Challenge.
Human pyramid?
Oh, Pyramid Challenge.
Oh, pyramid. Oh, where is the challenge where you're literally creating a pyramid with people? I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of silly challenges in the world. I'm sure it would be interesting to watch. Watch people try to do that. I don't know. I mean, I think even if something seems silly to somebody, it doesn't really matter, because we need entertainment too. We need things that are fun and just silly just because. So why not? Why not do that? And I'm sure you can set like a Guinness Book of World Record. I bet you can set a world record while you're at it.
No, absolutely. Would that be something you'd be interested in?
I probably wouldn't do it myself, especially because of COVID right now. But I don't know. I'm careful with my body because I'm a dancer. So
right.
I try not to take too many crazy risks.
Now, the reason I bring it up and why I turn it into a challenge is I'm a loser. I love that stuff. And I'm thinking, I always ask for recommendations. Can I have a shout out? Hey, I support the Keith Andrew Network. Why not combine the two? So you guys, do your pyramid. And while you're in that, you say, we support the Keith Andrew Network. I hate saying the expression killing two birds with one stone, but it's actually, why not do that and make it your own personal challenge?
Yeah, no, I love that. I think that's really cool. That it would be something unique that people would see, which is awesome.
No, absolutely. Now, the next question I want to ask you is, being a professional actress and singer, what has been the best advice you have been given over the years?
Ooh, that's a good one. Wow. I think, honestly, at my college, they always really emphasized finding yourself and expressing who you were through your work. And I think that was one of the most, one of the best pieces of advice that I've ever gotten, because Some schools, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with this at all, but there are some schools that make sure that everyone that comes out of their program can act, sing, and dance. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we definitely need triple threats in the world, and we need people who can do that. But there are some people whose skills just aren't in those worlds. Like, there are people who just, they're really, not going to be the crazy dancer that does 4 turns, and they're an amazing singer and actress, or singer and actor, or someone who's really just a really good actor and doesn't have a great voice. You can always work on those other skills, but to really hone in and find what makes you unique and what you are passionate about, and bringing that out as an artist, I think that's so important. And, if you want to be a triple threat, go do it. I mean, that's what I love, and that's what I try to aspire to be. But I just think that, at school, when I was taught that you really need to find who you are and express that, I just think that's so important. Like, when we did our senior showcase, which is a showcase for agents and casting directors you come to New York City to do in your senior year, we had so many different types of people, and I thought it was so fascinating, because we just had such an eclectic range of talents. And I just think that's super important as an actor, or as a performer in general, is that you really have to find yourself and what makes you unique.
No, absolutely. For the most part, people are like, oh, tell me about your talk show. And I don't want to be a one-trick pony. I don't want to be like, oh, it's just about disability. So I'm thinking, people keep asking me, what is your goal? Oxymoron on my part is, I want to become famous. But I'm thinking, they also ask me, what can you tell us about your network? What does your network mean to you, and what do you want out of it? And I'm a big wrestling fan. And they're like, well, I was thinking maybe if I extend the library. So that's why I came up with the Human Pyramid Challenge, the Dumbo Challenge, Jumbo Book Challenge. If you're interested, I would love to talk to you about being one of my brand ambassadors. So I have that. I have my friends on there. If you like professional wrestling, we have the best of Raven, the best of Chris Harris. So anything wrestling-wise, we have the X Zone. We have Life of a Fighter. So my network is growing leaps and bounds. So it isn't just, black and white. Okay, he's the kid with disabilities, big whoop. But if you look at my network, you can see who supports me, and the recommendations, and these different things that I created all on my own. And I'm thinking, this is a possibility of actually going to the next step. So with that being the question to you, was everything that you accomplished, what is your primary? If you had to pick one goal to be your primary, what would it be? What do you want to focus on? Your acting, so you can be like in Madison Square Garden, or you want to do your singing, you could be like at Jones Beach or Nassau Coliseum. I don't think there is a Nassau Coliseum, but whatever. Let's just say there is. But you have these arenas, Nassau Coliseum, Westbury. Westbury is actually a good one. It's in a crappy area. But Westbury is really a nice theater. But by looking at you, you're beautiful, and you have so much talent for you. But if someone asks you straight up, hey, I have a contract for you, do you want to be just an actress, or do you want to focus on singing? If you were given that opportunity, what would you do?
Man, I mean, my big goal is Broadway. And I know it sounds cliche, but, honestly, I've actually always wanted to be in the ensemble of Wicked. I know that's not a huge goal, but it's, I just love that show so much. And I think, it really comes down to, I would love a job where I could act, sing, and dance. I really love each of those things so much. And I think that Broadway is definitely my end goal. And, even if I'm the swing and I don't ever have to go on stage, or, even if I'm an understudy, anything like that would be so wonderful. So I think that would be my big place where, that I would take.
No, absolutely. Actually, I do have some ideas for you, but one of them I'm going to ask you now. How would you feel about creating your own show?
I've actually thought about it sometimes, because, so many things are on social media now and on the internet. I struggle with the fact that, even though I'm very dedicated and hardworking, I know that with shows, you have to have constant content. You have to have stuff that comes out every week or every month, and I would just be afraid that I wouldn't be able to meet the deadlines or that I would, lose traction. But I don't know. It's definitely something I've been thinking about a lot, especially during the pandemic. I think that I don't really know what I would do. A lot of my friends, they've done like 100 days of singing and they do, one song every day for 100 days or something like that. And I think that would be fun, but I don't know. It's definitely an idea that I've been ruminating on.
No, absolutely. If you're interested, I would love to work with you. I have some great ideas. But I'm going to pass the show over to you, wrapping up. Is there anything you wanted to promote and work? How can our fans follow you as well?
Yeah, of course. So you can definitely follow me on Instagram or Twitter. My handle is Beth Conley, Conley 89. And I also have my website, bethconley.com, same spelling. But yeah, I'm actually part of this amazing new musical right now. It's called The Reunion. You can find them on Facebook, The Reunion, a pop punk musical. And it's awesome. I love being a part of it. And I believe that they're releasing a new song. And I think that, just follow their Facebook page. They're going to show, they're going to talk about when they're releasing new songs for, if you like or share their posts, then they'll send you some tracks. And I just think it's going to be a really exciting show. And I can't wait until, more things happen with it. So, yeah.
No, absolutely. Now, wrapping up the show, I do have a couple questions for you off the air. But it was a real honor and privilege having you as a guest. And I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.
Awesome. Thank you. This was great.
No, the honor is all mine. And for our fans out there, make sure to like and subscribe to the KeithAndrewNetWork.com. Make sure to stay tuned to my new buddy over here, but she has a bright future in the Acme. I keep saying Acme, as I have Looney Tunes on my head, in my mind. But you have a bright future in the entertainment world for singing and acting. I wish you the very best, and I'm looking forward to part 2.